Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and a special shout out to Deborah Lupien for organizing this amazing, auspicious event in honor of Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party as we celebrate her running for president on this Labor Day weekend. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a naturopathic doctor, I'm a professional remote viewer, and I'm a medical intuitive. I started working as a naturopathic doctor about 15 years ago, and I've been a professional remote viewer for close to 30 years. I am available via telemedicine appointments and also tarot readings if you would like to contact me. And again, I want to give a special shout out to all the readers and all of you who have decided to come together on this special day to celebrate Labor Day and to celebrate the Democratic Party. All right, thank you, everyone. Let the games begin.
And here she comes. Welcome, Dr. Whimsy. Delighted to have you here.
Yay.
Thank you so much for having me. Wow, this is awesome. I love the conversation. It's so interesting. I found myself getting really pulled into it. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Well,
Nice to meet you.
I'm going to step out and leave the two of you to have your conversation. You talk about whatever you'd like. If there's something you want to get off of your chest about this whole democratic process, what we're fighting to do, please feel free. We did that earlier and it was wonderful.
Yes.
And I'll come back later with some extras. Have fun.
Just we have a bit of an echo, so I might put.
Oh.
I'm trying. Yeah, I think I'll put these on just to make sure we don't have an echo.
All righty. Sounds good. And this is this is quite a pleasure for me. I've watched your channel for a number of years. Enjoy your readings and all that. So yeah, this is excellent to be able to read with you, and for such a fabulous cause.
Yeah, I got in on the. I missed a part of the conversation. I actually just woke up from a nap. I had a really good nap, but I really thought it was interesting that people were channeling Thomas Jefferson, because as a remote viewer, I use heart-centered remote viewing, and I try to be the other person to the best of my ability.
Yes.
And I have been Sally Hemings, and I feel like I really wish that I had heard everything that Thomas Jefferson had said, because it's so interesting to go back in time. And one of the things I think we have to remind ourselves is that we know a lot more now than we knew then. You know, people,
Exactly.
what was acceptable or what seemed sensible back then, we now think of as insane. So we also have to understand that what was culturally acceptable is, we evolve. We're getting better. At least we'd like to believe we're getting better.
Exactly.
But,
exactly. I think people did the best that they could with the information they had at the time. Now that we know better and we have different information, let's hope that we can make better choices. Right? Yeah. Not give in to to the hate, the fear, all the negative vibrations that, it, to me, it feels like walking through mud. I don't want to be there. I want to have kind of a lovely path that I can meander on rather than struggle forward. So, yeah, the higher vibration allows for that.
Yeah, and it's interesting to talk about Donald Trump, because when I have been Donald Trump, I felt trapped I felt like I was emotionally about 3 years old, and I kept going back to, he keeps repeating certain things over and over again, from from when he was 3 years old. And
Yes.
so it's hard to being angry at somebody who is trapped. He's still 3 years old. And so even though our emotional reactions to him are understandable, we have to understand that he is a 3-year-old traumatized child with a drunken psychopathic father, seeing his mother collapsed on a bathroom floor, hemorrhaging to death.
Yes.
So that he will forever be trapped in that bathroom with blood all over the place, right? So when he feels stressed, particularly when he feels stressed with a woman, he goes right back, well, she had blood all over the place, right? So
Yes. Yes.
and then it was interesting to read Mary's book about him, where she says that was the main trauma. And then his mom goes away for a year, so he's left at the
Yes.
mercy of this crazy guy when he's 3 years old. So it makes you think, is it rational for us to be angry at someone who clearly is insane and trapped in their own childhood? You know, like, I don't know. That's kind of where my head goes. He has to be controlled, clearly. But
Yes.
the Schadenfreude, the delight in seeing this insane person go down, which is inevitable, it's not sustainable. Of course he's going to go down, you know.
Yeah.
Trumpism, MAGA, is not a sustainable movement. It always, you know, if you follow the trajectory of
Yes.
MAGA, it always implodes. I think every psychic has seen that because it's not a sustainable movement.
Well,
You know?
exactly. Yeah. And I know that if I'm tuning into his energy, yes, it's frustrating, it's angry, and I do see a vision of a toddler. You know, anybody who's got kids and go back a few years, remember when we used to have the phone that was attached to the wall, and the minute that mom got on
Yes.
that phone, that's when the kids would come up, mom, mom, mom. And if you ignored them, if you turned the other way, yeah, they'd grab your skirt or your shirt or whatever and pull, mom, mom. That's what I see with him, is that yeah, that frustration, and the mom's attention is somewhere else. It should be focused on me. I will do whatever I can
Oh
to
my
get
gosh, that is really insightful. You know, when you said that, it made me realize that the phones that hang on the wall, I'm so old that was considered a new phone.
Yes.
That was considered a new phone because we had the phones where you would lift them up.
Yes.
Hello, this is
Hello.
the Anderson residence. Click. And my
Yeah.
parents were separated. And I would go to visit my mom's house, and she had one on the wall, like, whoa, and click.
Wow.
It was like Star Wars,
I know.
right? When they finally had it hanging on the wall with the click thing, and also the shape was different.
Yes.
And it was just, as opposed to that click.
Yeah.
So that's how old I am. I don't know. I probably shouldn't announce that, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So what is that?
Looks like we got some interesting questions. Did you want to try and take some of these questions with me?
Absolutely. If I know there was, and I'm trying to remember who had asked if okay. I think it was Sandy Peterson wanted to know if Eugene was still with her. And I know that it's been reposted several times, and it just, I really want to get to that if we can. So, yes, is Eugene still with you? He is. He is, but he is trying to encourage you to stand on your own. He knows that you are strong enough with the Fool that you can manage things on your own. He knows where your abilities and strengths are, and he is encouraging you and saying, honey, You got this. And he's reminding you that there were several conversations that you had with him when he was still here in the physical form, and how often he told you that you were more capable than you realize. And so if you feel him kind of waning, and that sometimes it feels like he's around and sometimes he's not, it's because he's trying to teach you that you have everything that you need in order to do this by yourself. He's there if you need help, but you can do this. You can do this on your own. He is very, very much still Ace of Cups. He's very much still your support system. He's never not around, but he just wants you to know that you can do this. Absolutely, you can do this. That's what I got.
Wow, that's such a great reading. It's so interesting that that was how you approached it, because when I went into the energy of Sandy, I felt fear, as an empath, that Sandy was afraid. Nine of Wands,
Yeah.
fear of phantoms, fear of ghosts, fear of everything, agoraphobia, maybe hiding. When we get into a place of fear, when we're afraid of everything, it means we're all, and the other thing that can cause this is if we spend too much time watching the news, and then we start to think everything is horrible. The news is the strange, the worst, the horrible. Most people are really nice people, but you wouldn't know it if you spend all your time just wrapped in the news. So claustrophobia, feeling defensive, afraid of bringing the outside world in. It could be that one of the reasons you're having trouble connecting with Eugene could be because of fear, a growing sense of fear. And you have partnership with you, like Two of Wands is a solid partnership, even though worlds away, you're next to each other. But again, there's this feeling of fear at night. And to maybe move away from fearful imagery towards more optimistic imagery, and things that which is going to make you less frightened in the world, less terrified, and things that are going to make you feel more safe in the world it's going to be able to help you open up so that you can feel Eugene's presence. And I feel he's with you, and that when you free yourself of these fears, it will be more apparent to you. Yeah, it's as if you yourself are afraid. If he were to show up, you might hide under the pillow or something, right?
Yes.
So being open to it, let yourself be open to that, open to the positive, being open to the good. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. All righty. And Anya says, I've always felt like an alien ever since I was in elementary school and beyond college. Don't know why then, but now I do have finally found my community family at long last. Thank you, Anya. Yes, we are all visitors here to Earth School. We are all learning what it is that we wanted to experience and what it is that we wanted to do in the little speck of a flash that we ultimately spend down here. So yes, we are all connected to other realms, other worlds, other galaxies, and so on. So yeah, I'm so glad you found us. I'm so glad you found us, Anya. Yeah.
there are a lot of us.
Yes.
I think being weird is good. That's what Jerry Seinfeld says.
Yes.
He raises they have a lot of friends who are weird. They want they want to raise their children to believe that being weird and unique is good. You don't want to be like everyone else. And sometimes they'll have a friend by the house and the kids will say, he's weird. And yeah, he's weird. Like that's a good thing. It's the ultimate compliment to be weird, to be different. And we are weird and it is good. We are individuals. We are a little bit out there, but it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I'm very whimsical myself.
Yeah, there you go. Never, ever would have guessed. Never. Okay, Rossi says, Dr. Whimsy, you are one of those GOP dreaded cat ladies. Yay! Rossi is one too. Yes.
Yes.
And how is Mila?
Mila is sleeping right now. I always was a dog person, to be honest with you. I never was, I loved cats. I love cats and dogs, but I was really more a dog person. But Mila picked me. So, she was homeless, a homeless kitty. I know. She was a homeless kitty in East LA, and I picked her up and took her home, and the rest is history. Now I'm a cat lady. And I really like it. The only problem is I'm allergic to Mila. But my cough is better because I dust. I dust repeatedly.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
cat ladies.
Yes. Yeah. I
Oh.
totally get it. We have 2 cats that both shed, and a husky who sheds 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So yeah, dust in our house when you come in, it's like, look, the animals were here before you, so you're going to have to learn how to deal with it. So,
I've heard of people, they collect the hair from their huskies and their Malamutes and these dogs. But what is it called? The ones. What are the ones that come from Alaska? Alaskan Malamute, right?
Yeah,
they brush them. Yeah, they brush them, and then you save the hair in bags, like sock bags.
Yeah.
And then you put the sock bag in woolite, cold water and woolite, and you wash it. And then they brush out the hair and they make thread. They make wool from it. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she said she made a hat, but it was so hot. Well, it would have to be because it kept the Eskimos warm in winter, but you can make clothes from them. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Excellent. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, I know that if every time that we take Clarity to the groomers, she always looks like she's 10 pounds lighter when I go pick her up. She doesn't like to go in there. She recognizes the door. As soon as you get to the door, it's like, oh, no, other direction. No. I like the way I smell. I like river dog smell. So,
I wonder why they don't like grooming. It's like going, we spend good money on grooming ourselves.
I know.
I see a question. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw Sandy. I don't know how to click on these. Sandy Delilah. Are you the person handling the clicking?
No, actually, it's somebody on the back end. Sandy.
Oh.
Okay. Then, can you talk about the energetic shift that exploded when? Oh, yes. Yeah, that was something that I think a lot of us felt in many different ways. I know for myself, I could not believe that Joe Biden had said he was not going to carry on. I thought that, there was a lot of pressure put on him, and maybe he gave to the pressure. And Sherry from Voices from the Swamp actually had a live, and some of us were on it, and it was like, I can't believe this. It took me about 24 hours to kind of go, hold on a minute, just a second. It was like someone, like the universe was playing a 3-dimensional chess. And it was like, okay, put your seatbelt on, watch what I'm going to do next. You're not going to believe this. And there was definitely a shift, and everything changed in those few hours. So absolutely.
I think a lot of people were getting really nervous after the first debate, and there was almost a feeling of, oh my God, Trump could win this thing. And I think there was concern that Kamala was not going to get picked. I think that was my worry, was that they were going to bring in somebody else, and that was set as if because she was a woman, she was less competent, even though she was the VP. And so that was the only time I was nervous afterward. But when this it cleared and we knew that she was going to
Yeah.
be the pick, I think that everything just went crazy after that.
Yes.
Everybody was just so happy and so thrilled. And then it went insane. I mean, like, oh my gosh, people have been
Yes.
so excited. I heard today she's up 6 points over Trump in the
Yes.
national polls.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's facing more charges. You do remote views on when I do remote views on Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't own Mar-a-Lago.
No, he
That
doesn't.
shocked me as a remote viewer. Maybe he owns 10%. He sold off chunks of it because he needed cash. So he sold off chunk here, sold up a chunk here, kept getting bailed out. The next thing you know, he doesn't own Mar-a-Lago. It's like he's shacking up there as a representative to get people to come and spend money and invest, but he's not himself the owner. So the actual owners are going to kick him out. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's funny, but I remember saying, it, probably 2, 3, 4 years ago, that yes, not only were women going to bring him down, but that Ivanka in particular was going to play a role in his final demise. I still see that. I still think that that is what is going to push him over the edge, is when Ivanka approaches him and says, okay, Dad, enough. Like you need help. You need medical attention. That is what's going to go with that little, burst blood vessel and so on, is that, A2 Ivanka? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I felt like she made a deal with the DOJ and the feds,
Yeah.
and that was the real reason she wasn't charged.
Yeah.
Because I had a very strange remote view of them entering the White House through the kitchens and being followed. But I got to see the kitchens. That was interesting.
Woo,
I
lovely.
also got to see that the lower basements of the White House are filthy, where the archives are. Oh my God, they need to get a dust bunny in there, serious. But one of those dust cleaning people. But
Yeah.
and they were being trailed by the FBI. So the other thing was I had a remote view where she had lied to Kushner regarding her involvement with some of the activities, that her signature was on certain documents.
Yes.
And that Michael Cohen was going to have to be making some phone calls or he was going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And one of the people he called was Ivanka. So that's really why she avoided. So she cut a deal. I don't think her father ever knew the extent. I mean, she's always going to save herself.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, she learned from the best. You can't expect her to act and do things any differently than how she was brought up. And I mean, he learned from his father and from Cohn, and she learned from him.
Yeah.
That's just the way they are. And as I think someone had been asked earlier, if Don Jr. and Eric were going to go into government, it is going to be a very long time before anyone is going to allow Trump anywhere near any kind of election.
Yeah, I agree. So Lady Silver has a question. Will political candidates be psych tested or will they be able to buy their way out? I think it would be vital to have them. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's probably one of those guardrails that are going to go up in place now that Trump has helped identify, where the rot in the house is and what's wrong and all that. That will be, just like you have to release your taxes, you have to do this. Yeah, we need to have 3 independent psychological studies, and all 3 are published.
It's so interesting that Elon Musk was talking about, age limits and all this other stuff, and you shouldn't be allowed to run if you're old. And then he goes and endorses the older candidate. So it really wasn't about that. It was about doing Putin's bidding and just coming up with, paying Putin back for those loans he took out to save Tesla, all that dark money that bailed him out of his own financial problems, which is what I think happened to Musk.
Yeah. And for buying Twitter. I have always felt that, it was foreign money that bought Twitter, and they told him, do whatever you have to, but shut it down. So, it's not like he was gambling with his own money. He could do whatever he wanted. So, that's how you that's how you shut down people's abilities to communicate. Yes. Get the devil.
Oh wow! Yeah,
absolutely. There are going to be guardrails that are going to be put into place, and that is going to be something that they're going to look at. I also get that the Nine of Pentacles. We need to know where your burdens are. We need to know where your suffering is, what it is that is contributing to your mental health. So yes, I think the guardrails will go in place, and they will.
Yeah, I would agree. But the other thing that's kind of interesting is I'm getting a lot of stuff here about Trump's mental health, and I keep seeing them like taking him somewhere. Like I keep seeing Trump. They're increasingly questioning his psychiatric health, and it could be a court ordered even, because look at this again, Nine of Wands. Get away from me! Get away from me! This is like the guy who goes psychotic from alcoholism and has the DTs, and they have to take him to a drunk tank or something. The Nine of Wands is coming, and then it's over for him. That Knight who goes nowhere, hopes and fears, the feds. So it's not just that he has like a paranoia. I mean, yes. I feel like Trump has a paranoia, but it's a paranoia based of reality. You're trying to lock me up. You're trying to contain me. And this is why I think it's psych, because Archangel Raphael is how I use the Page of Cups, which is in need of health, in need of a healing. I think yes to the answer, but I think more, because we cannot afford to be in this kind of a situation again. But more than that, I think that this guy could be drug off to a psych hospital or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's probably where he would be the happiest is, put him in a room, put him in a couple rooms, and tell him decorate it like he's talking to a whole bunch of people, or he's on TV. And just leave him alone. So they're all listening to you, sir. They think you're wonderful. Absolutely.
Well, he needs to entertain and charm. I mean, the thing about him is that he's an entertainer who needs to be with the pretty girl that thinks he's amazing. You're so incredible. Oh, yes, I am. He's that date. He's the date. Like Stormy Daniels, did you see I'm on the cover? Look at me, honey. Doesn't this turn you on that you get to have dinner with me and I'm on the cover of, what was it? What was he on the cover of?
Time magazine.
Yes, and then she spanked him with it. Remember, she rolled it up and spanked him with it.
Yeah.
So he is that guy. He has to charm you and have you sitting there going, oh, wow, you're a genius. You're incredible. Yeah. I've dated that guy, by the way. It gets to be boring. Like crazy. You're so interesting. Oh, my God, you've had sex with so many beautiful women. I'm so lucky that you're letting me eat lettuce in front of you. It gets boring. Yes.
Yeah, when you meet someone like that, I can picture them saying, oh my gosh, what a pleasure it must be for you to meet me. So, yeah. Okay.
Got another question.
All righty. Susan Cox. I have experienced a stroke, cancer since December 23. I still have issues. What do you see for my health going forward? Okay, Susan, I hesitate to do health readings. I can tune into your she does. She does.
I'm a doctor.
Yeah, she can. She can. I've often said I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. So
I do.
yeah, I can tune in to part of that energy and see how you're dealing with it, and then Whimsy can get right in there and tell you what's what. Yeah, I start off with the Fool. There are a lot of things. There are choices that you have that you may not realize you have because you're so used to operating kind of from one way. Western medicine is fantastic, but don't close yourself off to other modalities that are out there that people might tell you they're strange. Do your own work. Do your own work, and look into it. And it's decision time. Two of Pentacles. There's you're going to have to make some decisions, and you need to be a willing participant in your healthcare plan, because if it's not something that you are going to devote yourself to, it's not going to work. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's what I will say from there. Also the Ten of Swords. Don't see this as the end. No, that's it. I've gotten the diagnosis. It's only a matter of days now. No, just you can participate in your own healing. That's what I get. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get very similar to you in the sense that this is like evidence presented to you that you have a body, your body has a constitution. And so it's almost as if saying, well, take a look at your situation. You have this body and these number of insults, and looking at it as objectively, this is your situation. In terms of what we know about stroke recovery and cancer, we always want to get inflammation down in the body. There's been some interesting studies on stroke and high doses of fish oil, much higher than normal. And that's because it helps with blood flow. And we want to maximize blood flow, particularly if we see more clotting. The problem with cancer is that it can cause inflammation in the body and also disseminated intravascular coagulitis or coagulation of the blood. So it's another reason why we want to get the inflammation down in cancer and also in stroke. And so a lot of it's about thinning the blood. So we do put people on usually a pescatarian diet, high amounts of fish oil, and wanting to increase oxygen to the brain. So fish oil, turmeric is also being studied. In fact, intravenous turmeric. Probably, if I'm thinking about the best turmerics out there, probably Mariva by Thorn Research is the one that I prescribe to my stroke victims. So I would put the person on an anti-inflammatory diet, mostly pescatarian, with 90% vegan, 10% animal products. Fish oil is usually what I do. And then I would put the person on high amounts of fish oil and certain herbs like turmeric and ginkgo biloba to increase blood flow. The other thing is that you must physically move. I would also say healing energy, because what happens is that the nerves get damaged because they have lack of oxygen, and then the nerve tissue can recover. It can heal. It can heal with oxygen and with high doses of fish oil. Fish oil, by the way, contains DHA, which is what the gray matter is made from. So I would say, as much as you can physically try and do, you must be active. And I would strongly recommend an anti-inflammatory diet. Like I said, fish oil. You want to keep your stress levels down, but physical activity, transform your life. And life is a gift. Page of Pentacles, Archangel Gabriel is how I associate that's the Page of Pentacles, which means that there is a gift to the stroke, in a sense, that the person may have received something from it. This reminds me of Ram Dass talking about his blessed stroke, that it forced him to go more into his head. But there's a lot you can do. That's what I would say. Yeah, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I can tell you a little bit. Personal experience was it's probably about 15 years ago now that I woke up one morning and carried on with my day, and I thought my face looked a little different, but I thought, oh well, what the hell, like I'm not going to spend all day worrying about it. And it wasn't until I got to work and tried to make a phone call that my speech wasn't all there.
Wow.
Anyway, I didn't have a stroke, but what I did come down with was Bell's palsy. And so, yeah, this part of the left part of my face was very droopy, and it took a long time. Fish oil was one of the things that I did. I also went regularly for Reiki treatment and massage treatment, and that really helped a lot. Getting it and doing things. So am I 100% recovered? No, probably 98. But what it did do was it made me stop and pay attention.
Yes.
Yeah. Made me stop.
Yeah. And I would also say that type of Bell's palsy that you're describing is often viral, that a virus is attacking the nervous system. It could actually even be shingles.
Yes. The day after I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, I was in the emergency room, and yes, also diagnosed with shingles, and they weren't sure which one came first.
Yeah. So what happened to you is, I'm a medical intuitive. What happened to you is that the shingles was reactivated, probably from stress, low vitamin D, and it attacked the seventh cranial nerve, and that led to the Bell's palsy. So I would have also, you did great. I would have also given you an antiviral like elderberry. That's very scary. I mean, shingles is scary because it attacks the root ganglia of that's where it lives, and it never dies. So yeah.
Always there.
Interesting.
Always there.
That is fascinating, ladies. Thank you so much. We're going to pop on a short video about Project 2025 from Dawn Silver talking about women's rights. And get ready, because this is very raw and very personal.
Wow, let's take a look.
Hello. Can we talk about the elephant in the womb? 43 years ago, I was 15, alone and pregnant. The year was 1972, and abortion was not yet legal in Illinois, but it was a year later. I was so alone. I didn't tell my parents. Strangely, I didn't think that they could handle my situation. Weird how I thought that, but sad how other young girls might be feeling exactly the same way. Fortunately for me, Chicago is my home, and Chicago is home to the Jane Collective. Jane was an underground health service founded in Chicago back in 1969. The Jane Collective consisted of doctors, nurses, and activists who provided more than 11,000 safe abortions, saving many from the fate of back alley abortions and coat hangers, literally saving the lives of many young women. Jane disbanded in 1973, and that was the year Illinois legalized abortion care. So the fates saw to it that I was protected by wonderful care of Jane. I survived my unfortunate situation and turned that into becoming an advocate and free health professional back then. Today, I'm a licensed naturopath and healthcare professional. I wish Jane could have been there for everybody. So here we are in 2024, heading backwards instead of going forward. I heard candidate Trump say many times, brag many times, that he overturned Roe v. Wade and he was very proud of it. But when it came to his daughter Ivanka, both are strangely silent regarding the high school abortion she had. Her high school friends have outed her on this. But perhaps in Trump world, there are two sets of rules to play by, especially with Project 25. So Trump boasted about overturning Roe v. Wade. That is until he saw the inevitable uprising of women and men alike. Then he changed his tune to say he gave it back to the states to decide. Dirty as that is, he knows exactly what he's doing. They are trying to implement a 50-state backdoor ban on abortion without the use of Congress. Trump also falsely claims that Democrats support abortion even beyond the 9th month. He claimed that when the baby's born, the baby's executed after birth. That would be homicide, and that's illegal. And what a horrible thing to say. Nothing could be farther from the truth. But the truth is not helpful to his campaign. If this ever happened, every state would prosecute this action in state courts. He knows this is not true, and what an image to plant in other people's brains. Getting pregnant at 15 is not ideal by any means. It's a very scary situation. But why subject young girls and women to a life sentence they would have preferred not to choose? Project 25 is an invasion of your privacy. Your friends, your employer, and your parents can rat you out and turn you in. They've written it in such a way that if you choose to have an abortion, then you're choosing to be a criminal. It is written in such a way that if you choose your own life for health reasons over the fetus, that you're a criminal. Still, at this moment in time, there are states that would impose a no exception for the mother's life. They would sooner see you die, even if the fetus couldn't survive. A literal interpretation of the Comstock Act that seeks to ban abortions and jail healthcare professionals could also apply to materials and medications that are used in abortion care or even in miscarriage care. This law is from the 1880s, 1800s, sorry about that. How many other laws would be repealed from over 100 years ago? How would your lives be affected? Project 25 forces states to report women's miscarriages to the Trump federal government. What a way to add insult to injury. This affects families who sincerely want to have a family and have children, outlawing IVF, which has been a godsend for families with difficulties in conceiving. It's just another insult they intend to law over families. What an utter contradiction of terms. Planned Parenthood provides access to contraception to over 2 million women each year. This is not all that they do. Planned Parenthood provides health care for families throughout the country. Project 25 and Trump are calling to defund them, even though they've been an integral part of our healthcare system since 1916. Trump wants to rip away President Biden's protections for a women's right to life-saving medical care. Would you want that, or would you have wanted anyone to treat your mother, your daughter, your wife like this? Don't you love them, and don't you think they deserve better? My young actions may have been incredibly immature, as were the actions of my boyfriend at the time. I can't undo that. But under Trump's federal America, I'm the only one to be punished, not the male. Under Project 25, I could have died. Today, many will and have died. Jennifer Glick of Texas did die recently. With Project 25 and Trump, there are going to be many Jane Does. Trump, in his own words, admitted to backing Project 25 and overturning Roe v. Wade. Seeing how unpopular it was, he's doing all he can to backtrack and put the attention elsewhere. Don't let him do this. Become informed. For more information, go to Project 2025, Presidential Transition Project. Project 2025, Presidential Transition Project. For the sake of humanity, we need to find our humanity. Women unite, and the sons and the husbands and the fathers who love us, be there with us.
Powerful.
Yes, thank you, Dawn Silver. And I just want
Yes, thank
everybody
you.
listening to know that all of the guests and the recorded videos on this program, those speakers are all listed on the web page that we set up for this event. I'm going to paste that into comments for you in just a second so that you can go there if you want to learn anything about any of these. And I encourage you to please do so. Reach out to them. Ladies, you've got a few more minutes where you can do some questions before we need to pause to do some giveaways. Then Marina will be departing, and
Yeah.
Whimsy will be staying. And let's see, who's coming up next? Do you remember? Let's see.
Who is? Oh, hold on.
Gerald. Gerald is coming up.
Oh, Gerald.
Yeah, so he'll be here. Okay, so I'll jump out. You go ahead.
Yeah, if you have not read with Gerald, you will absolutely adore him. He's fabulous.
Oh, how fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. And before I forget, I hope that you and I can maybe do a collab sometime soon.
I would love that.
Perfect. Alrighty. So let's see. Does someone have, is there another question that you want us to look at, or?
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Maureen D'Amico. That's very nice. Yeah, Sherry says networking Marina. That's me. Yeah. Been in sales all my working life. It's my default.
Wow.
Right?
Wow, good for you. Well, you're a very good reader. I was really enjoying the readings you were giving.
Thank you very much. That's high praise coming from you.
Thank you.
I accept
wonderful.
That. Yeah. Okay. And what do I see is Heavenly Blessed Honey says, wonder if they'll look at Ivana's casket and why it might have weighed so much. Yeah, there are, yeah, where her casket is on that in Bedminster is, yeah, it's not really a casket. There is underneath the where she is supposed to be buried. It is a solid concrete room that has like files up against the walls, where Trump is keeping some documents and some personal items and gold and so on. Yeah, there is no one there at the Four of Swords. And remember, she was cremated. Why would you need to put a cremated person in a coffin and bury that coffin? And why was it so heavy? Because it was full of things that Trump was stealing. Is it going to come out? Yeah, someone is going to, with the Hermit, someone is going to
come. Yes, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier today we asked this question and there was someone, what is that? It was the same exact card. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's what that's why she's there. That's why, yeah, he wants to spend time at Bedminster. And this thing that's coming up on September 4th, look out, watch and see who's there, and watch and see where they're going, because I think that's where some of the papers are going to be traded. Yeah, it's going to be funded. That's what I got.
You know, it's interesting. When I went into this, I was Ivana, and just I felt like I had been in a relationship with an emotionally stunted 3-year-old that physically exhausted me. His mental health problems physically. Look at this, Ten of Swords.
Yep.
Ivana, just she was beaten down by this guy. I mean, I don't think he ever he ever stopped making her life hell. You know, what's interesting is that Trump leaves all of his stuff, like the gold cups, the gold, yes, the gold. He leaves the gold cups. I think, you know, I would not be surprised. Earlier today, when we were asked that question, it was talking about things that were extremely valuable that were hidden, that, you know, you wonder if it's the nuclear codes or what it is, but it's something of great value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We know that the original documents are missing, and that the documents that they got back, some of them are copies and copies of copies. So where is the originals?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a kid.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Ramona Jordan, yes, she was cremated, and the source for that is I think it was the New York coroner's office, who said that, yeah, her autopsy and cremation was the quickest that was ever done. There was autopsy and cremation. Boom.
Do you think she was? Do you think she was pushed down the stairs? That she knew something? Because people have wondered if somebody came in and actually took her out.
Yeah, I think that someone assisted her down those stairs, and I think her non-disclosure agreement was expiring very quickly. I think that she wanted to protect her children from what she kind of knew that they were going to be exposed to. And I think that she was going to make comments. I think she was going to go public. And yeah, some of her, I think someone helped her. Let's put it that way. Entertainment purposes only. What do I know? I'm just a tarot reader. But yeah.
That was, so it's, you know, from the back also.
Yes.
It's almost, gosh, you know, everything. It's like what happened with his doctor, who also died. The doctor in New York died. That was raided by Trump people. Bernstein died.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Go figure.
But Bernstein was his drug supplier.
Yes.
And so, not wanting anyone to find out that he was a drug addict, so his people went in and cleared it. Did you guys see the SNL? I've been raped. Yeah. Bernstein was played by Short, Martin Short.
Yes.
And he kept saying, I feel raped. Because that's what the guy actually.
Yes.
But you wonder, good God, like, but it's not just that Trump has this horrible history. It's also that so many people are helping him.
Yes, you know? and there are others that are involved as well. I think that, you know, I mean, Trump wanted her silenced. He didn't want her to talk. She was at the point where she was ready to start saying, okay, no, he's accused of this. Yes, I did in the divorce. I did accuse him of rape. And, you know, I kind of had to take it back. I stand by it. That's exactly what happened. maybe give more information. But don't forget, he's beholden to so many other countries that it would be nothing for, let's say, Russia, as an example, just picking Russia. Russia goes in and helps her run down the stairs, as it were, and oops, she tripped and fell. And then that's something else that they can hold over him and say, well, you did mention that you kind of wanted her silenced, and we did that for you. He's not a very intelligent man. You can very easily manipulate him. It's, just by the near shiny object, right? It's that wounded 3-year-old who's crying, going, Mom, Mom, Mom. And you hold and say, here, would you like an ice cream? Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the impression that Ivana, if we have extra time, it might be interesting to see if we can get her to come through, if she has anything to say. If you want to throw a couple cards, I don't know if you do that, to see if she has anything. Did you want to see if she has anything to say?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we still have a few minutes left, and yeah, absolutely. But I think that it could be that part of what Ivana was going to discuss was Donald's treatment of Ivanka. I think there was something, again, what do I know? Okay, entertainment purposes only. But I think that there was an inappropriate relationship that, yeah, what do we have? What do we have here? Yeah, this was not the perfect, loving 10 of Cups family that was presented. That was the family that was there for the pictures. Smile, honey, look pretty. But I think that there was something inappropriate in their relationship. And yeah, King of Pentacles ideas. I let's put it this way. It was inappropriate, and it wasn't only Donald, it was Jeffrey Epstein and a few others. That's what I'm getting. And yeah, she will talk about it one day, not yet.
It's interesting. I go into the divorce like having to fight for every single coin that she got in the divorce. Mm-hmm. That he was a miser. He was a miser to her, and he used money as power. And that miserly, if somebody is of no use to him, like his niece and nephew, where he just stole their money because they couldn't do anything for him. So if somebody can't do anything for him, he'll take everything. The only reason to be nice to someone is if you're going to get something back. And so when she won the divorce, you get the impression with this energy that she still had to beg and plead for every single freaking coin. Her perception of him, that he's insane. 7 of Cups, that he is in his cups. He is not in his right mind. He's just depicted in her eyes as somebody where she had to beg for every penny after she was of no use to him. And so I don't know if somebody killed her or what, but he is somebody, once he's done with you, he's done with him, like with Bernstein, who crazily died not long after that situation. I mean, it's just bizarre how people die around him.
Yes.
That have dirt on him. It's almost like Putin. And somebody had said, yeah, Putin pushing people downstairs, pushing them over things. Somebody
they
could
fall out of windows in Russia. The glaciers in Russia are not very professional. Their windows don't last.
Right. Somebody who could have snuck into the home and waited, and then when she was walking down the stairs, come up and pushed. Would have been very easy to have just let the person. She was evidently lying there for a while, right? She was unconscious before she was discovered. Person just let themselves out, it would be very easy to do something like that.
Yeah. And
Wow.
she did have some mobility issues, and she also had an elevator in her apartment. And the housekeeper and many people said she never took the stairs. That's why she had the elevator. So
somebody could have thrown her and then picked her up and laid her there as if she had walked down the stairs?
Or just thrown her down the stairs. She's walking.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's going from one room to another. Okay. And what if they were in the stairwell or whatnot? As she goes by, she gets pushed down the stairs, boom, 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 down she goes, she's done. Yeah.
Yeah. People who do business with them. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, ladies. This is fascinating. Thank you so much. But we have to say goodbye to Marina. And Carol is waiting backstage to come on.
It was my pleasure, and I am very happy to pass the baton to my friend Gerald, who you are going to have so much fun with, and I'm just probably going to stay in the chat after I go get a coffee first.
Okay. Before you do that, tell the viewers what your giveaways. You have 3 giveaways.
Oh, yes, I have 3 giveaways, and those are 3 30-minute either tarot, oracle, or mediumship readings. And if you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can go to my webpage. Here you go. Wait, go back. All right. There we go. Marina's heartcenteredtarot.com. You can find out how to you can book your own appointment on there. You can also find out classes that I'm holding, sign up for classes, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please come on over. I'm about I think I'm about 120 some away from 3,500. So
Woohoo.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm running a special until midnight tonight. Subscription is free. So, go over and take advantage of it.
Okay. So we have 3 lucky winners. We have Anya.
Perfect.
Ellen Z. And Jason Vizcara. Jason Vizcara. All 3 of you. Congratulations.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Answers at akashaunleashed.com. We'll put it in the chat in just a minute so that I can put you in touch with Marina and you can get your gifts. Congratulations. Thank you, Marina.
Have a great night. Thank you for having me.
It was so nice working with you.
Bye.
Absolutely. You too. Take care, all.
Thank you, Marina.